What's up, world? Uko here from Better Therapy Now, and welcome to lesson 7 of the Curiosity Mindset, the power of intellectual humility. So, the goal of the Curiosity Mindset is an intellectual goal, and that is to continue to challenge your ideas and your beliefs so that you can refine those beliefs and maintain the flexibility and open mindedness to continue to change. Now, unfortunately, as you gain more and more intellectual power and more intellectual confidence, it's going to be more and more difficult for you to admit you were wrong. And this is why the curiosity mindset says that admitting you were wrong is a sign of strength. Intellectual humility says that our knowledge is limited and that strength and true wisdom is found in the agency and brilliance of other people. Once you fully embrace and practice the curiosity mindset and make it a lifestyle, then you'll be able to build bridges between other people. In this lesson's worksheet, exploring the limits of your knowledge, you're going to identify some areas that you don't have a lot of knowledge in. It could be really anything, and you should have a list of areas where you don't have a lot of knowledge, because the other lessons and the other conversations that you've had or journal entries that you've made in previous lessons should have identified areas where there's gaps in knowledge and where there are certain biases that prevent you from connecting all of the dots. A good part about this lesson that I really like are the exploratory questions aspect. So you're going to identify an area where you have very little knowledge or where there's gaps in knowledge, and then you're going to craft some exploratory questions. And these are just kind of open-ended questions. So say you do something about climate change. You can ask an exploratory question like, why don't I know a whole lot about climate change? Or what sort of fears do I have about climate change? Or you can do something that's about mental health, such as how have your mental health struggles impacted your life? Or what have I learned from my mental health struggles? The goal is to get you to ask exploratory questions automatically when you're having conversations with other people. We want you to see conversations and interactions with others as an opportunity to explore the mind of other people and see what really drives people. And that requires a sense of curiosity. Another thing that this worksheet does is it helps you walk through what it takes to begin to understand something. It's really just a few simple things. So first, resources. What sort of resources can you engage with to be able to feed your research or feed your knowledge gap so that the gap is not so wide in a certain area? Next is people. Who can you talk to who knows more about this than you? And how do you make contact with that person and engage in a conversation about this area that you don't know much about? Next is actions, taking action to have an actual experience with whatever the thing is that you're talking about. If it's about religion, maybe you go to a church and talk to somebody that's very religious. If it's about dating or dating apps or something like that, you go to somebody that engages in those things and see what is their experience like. But take action and try to fill that gap, and try to fill that gap with personalized experience that you go through yourself. Next are feelings. So what does it feel like to have this knowledge gap? And what does it feel like to begin to fill that knowledge gap? And lastly, insights and reflection. So reflecting on the thing that you're studying as you are filling in that knowledge gap. The curiosity mindset has really primed us for the next part of this course. We've talked about our biases. We've really challenged a lot of ideas, and this section is meant to make us or force us to engage with all of the ideas that we've kind of grown up with, or maybe that we've had our entire life, and reevaluate them and challenge those and possibly begin to change them so that they're much more authentic, because ultimately we want to live an authentic life. The next section is called the purpose-driven mindset. And this is where we're trying to establish and crystallize our core values.